wingy bits. Look it up in a dictionary. Good morning, afternoon, or indeterminate time of day to you, my friends on the internet. Brian here, and today I want to give you my impressions on the Transformers Combiner Wars Pyra Magna figure, who is part of Victorion, who you can see the crotch there of and the name, because that's a big box. And here she is in vehicle mode with all of the crap on her, and you know, for a fire truck with a lot of crap on her, I don't think this actually looks horrible. Like, I kind of am picturing this as a Cybertronian mode anyway, because, you know, she has Cybertronian writing, and in the comics, Victorion was on Cybertron. She's from Cybertron. Even in the back of the box, it says she's from the Sea of Rust. So, I'm kind of okay with making this look ridiculous, but I haven't fully decided. I haven't fully committed to this being her storage technique for all the junk that comes with her. But if you want to see her without all this stuff, you just pull this apart and knock a hand out of a foot. Alright, less than a minute later of pulling junk off of her, this is her standard vehicle mode, which looks a whole lot like an Earth fire truck. Actually, it looks a whole lot like Sentinel Prime from the Transformers live action movies, which I almost just blasted because I don't like them. But anyway, hey, I'll get to this in a moment, but warning, stress mark warning for parts of this figure. I'll get to that when I'll get to that. Here's a good example of what can happen if you don't do what I will talk about in a moment. So she is a remold of Generations Hotspot, and she has very little remold in vehicle mode. We've got a slightly new cross-section thing to hide the face, because that head does not do anything to try and hide the fact that there's a giant combined mode head right here. Nothing. Not a thing is done to... Well, okay, a thing is done. A peekaboo shield is implemented. She also has these new wingy bits. That's the technical term for them. Look it up in a dictionary. Wingy bits. That's really the major differences between her and Hotspot. But, you know, rather than say that, why don't I just grab Hotspot, who happens to be right here, and slam him down on the table and show y'all. So, blue, red, blue. Not completely in frame. There you go. Here. To show you the comparison in vehicle mode, at least, between the... get off! Between the remolded pieces. Yeah. That's about the biggest difference in vehicle mode. Other one being the different head, because Hotspot's combined mode, or Defensor's head can you know, open up and try to pretend to be a basket, better than just peekabooing, ignoring the fact that there's a head there. And yeah, it actually wasn't 100% positive. There actually wasn't the hide shield here, but yeah, there's no peekaboo shield. Peekaboo shield sounds like sounds like a stupid superhero, to be honest. Peekaboo shield. Anyway, but as long as we've got all the uses of the mold, let's throw out Onslaught. And to be honest, I really kind of wish Pyra Magna had been a remold of Onslaught rather than Hotspot, because I just like this mold, this version of the mold better. This is still the best version of the mold, I think. So there's all three of them put together. Alright, but as for articulation for the vehicle mode, the turret, just like Hotspot, spins all the way around. It's got a joint right there. You've got a joint right here. You've got a joint right here. And you've got a joint right here. So the arm ladder thingy is rather articulated, decently enough. She rolls, even though my stage is a little curved. She rolls just fine. And that's really all the articulation you're going to get in vehicle mode. Well, let's move on to some other size comparisons. Let's start off with the standard yardstick of Chromia. And there you go. That's what she looks like next to that. And it's amusing since these two actually met. In the comics, anyway. Another big lady that I've got is Planet X's Triton, aka Fall of Cybertron Paddles. And yes, I'm calling this a female. In my headcanon, Paddles is female, so, you know, deal with it. She she is so much bigger. So much bigger. Like I say, every time I do a size comparison with her, she's big. Bigly big. And to show her off with a modern Optimus-ish, there is Combiner Wars Onslaught. No, that's not Onslaught. That's Motormaster. Wow, I'm having a brain fart. So, this was remolded into Optimus. I don't have that Optimist mold. I don't have that Optimus mold, and he's a little dusty. Why are you dusty? Anyway, here's what an Optimus mold would look like. The most recent Optimus mold, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's any other Classics Optimus. Yeah. Anyway, she's bigger, but he's a bit chunkier. So basically, if you take this and fold it in half, you know, that's what you get. As another why not, here is Nova Prime. I mean, Prima from... actually, this is Mastermind Creations Seraphicus Promenon, I believe, aka IDW. Well, this is IDW Prima, and with his armor would be IDW Nova Prime. She's big. He's compact. One other Combiner Wars comparison is with Prowl. 'Cause why not? I've also got Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus and Minimus Embassy. So they're roughly the same size-ish. You know, Ultra Magnus and are not Minimus. This is... Now they're roughly the same size. All three of them are roughly the same size. Ignore the photo distance. And another character she's met is Whinblade, so hey, there's another... Actually, no, this is actually a really good comparison to do, because this was the first fan-built combiner, or the first fan-built bot, and now this is the first fan-built combiner. So hey, there you go. I found a way to make this relevant. But let's bring in all of the Torchbearers and see how these guys all look as a group shot. And here are all 6 of them together in vehicle mode. And these guys look like a good team. It kind of took this set to remind me that there actually isn't all that often a combiner team that shares a color scheme. Like, Devastator's really the only one. Other teams might have a color in common, but none of them have all the same colors. So this looks cool to me. I like this. I like these characters a lot. I said pew. Alright, so that is basically everything there is to say about her in her vehicle mode. So, yeah, you can still see her hands because, you know, that's hotspot as well. There's not really any underside, and yeah, let's do this. Let's get her into robot mode and talk about her in there, shall we? Sea of Rust. Not quite sure if she pulls off a believable fire truck thanks to the very visible Victorion head. You don't mess with a lady's family. Granted, I do think Pyra Magna, as she appears in the IDW books, would probably unwilling to come to blows with a Prime. But she hasn't exactly had a whole lot of characterization in the books. And here is Pyra Magna in her robot mode, and I've got to say, this is like... I've always kind of liked this mold, and yeah, well, I have always liked this mold, and this is a really good use of it. The chest piece I really like. The head sculpt, oh my god, this head sculpt is like one of the coolest head sculpts in Transformers to me. Look at this. I love the eye makeup. I love the... Well, I've always loved head crests. I don't like that they stopped the paint or finish the head crest. Prowl does this too, and it annoys me. But I love the face, the eye paint. That's so cool. I'm probably gonna steal that technique and do some stuff with some customs that I'm doing. I'm gonna try to emulate that. I like it. 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 Her weapon is kind of cool. It works well as an axe, and yeah, I like this axe. This is a cool weapon for a cool lady. Alright, so there's Onslaught and Hotspot, who, Pyra Magna is just a remold of Hotspot, just a different chest piece, different forearms, and different head, obviously, and then some stuff on the alt mode kibble stuff that we've already talked about. I love that her hands are different and kind of I don't know, I love the new hands. Compared to Onslaught, though, I think Onslaught's my favorite, like, mold of the mold. Pyra Magna, though, is really kind of up there in what I don't know if I'd be able to pick which one I like the most. I really, really do like the mold for Onslaught, and really wish Pyra Magna had been an Onslaught repaint instead of a Hotspot repaint. I don't know. They're all really cool. But one thing that I mentioned about in vehicle mode, the stress marks that I have on here, when you transform these guys, see this little nub right here on both of these struts? That is used in alt mode, I think in combined mode, to basically stop this arm from going further. In Pyra Magna's case, though, that strut is not where it's supposed to be. It is actually on the front. And so I didn't even think about this when I got it. I started transforming her the way I transformed those guys. And that shoved that strut into the back of the leg, which caused those stress marks. And this is a supremely common issue. In fact, I don't think anybody has reported, anywhere that I'm aware of, has reported that it's actually installed correctly. Now, a number of people have just clipped that off and apparently been fine, and I'm probably going to do that because you can't transform the legs properly. Like, these are not properly transformed legs. The knees do something kind of really cool. It's on this double hinge assembly, and there's the bar again that's installed improperly. Move the light a little bit so you guys hopefully see it a little bit better. So this bar is the one that's installed flipped around. But you're supposed to take this piece and make it flush inside this knee, like this direction. And so that will lock this knee all together. So now this black piece is now sitting like this, inside of the leg. You can't do that because on Pyra Magna, because the flap that I showed you prevents that from happening. Or rather, it doesn't prevent it, but it causes those stress marks when you do that. So, supremely common issue that prevents you from transforming Pyra Magna completely normally. Luckily, it seems like her joints are tighter, so that it hasn't been too horrible for me. But I am definitely going to, very soon, clip those off so that I can transform her properly, because I really like the way those legs transform. So be aware of that. But as far as her articulation goes, it's the exact same as everybody else. Rotates all the way around, can go out very far, mostly due for transformation. Has a bicep swivel just below the elbow. Has a double jointed elbow to, well, mostly for transformation and combined mode to then lock in there. Onslaught locks in very well when you do this. And Hotspot locks in better than Pyra Magna. Pyra Magna basically just kind of like, I guess my arms are there. They might come out. They will come out. So that kind of sucks. That's the reason why I really like the Onslaught version of the mold. Everything locks together for these arms and the chest shield much better on Onslaught than anyone else. So I'm sad about that. But anyway, no wrist swivel or anything. That's all molded together. No waist swivel either. Her leg, though, can go forward a very good ways. Can go backwards. If you get the armature out of the way, it can go back a very good ways. Go out very nicely. And that's all ratchets and hitches. And that's all ratchets and good stuff to help with combined mode. Very tight ratchets occasionally. She's got a thigh swivel at the thigh, where one would want a thigh swivel. I lost my tongue. Her knee, when installed properly, would, well, I'll show you on Hotspot. It would give you that much range of motion if it's installed properly. And when I get the knee installed correctly, that's how much she's going to have. And one little cool bit of engineering that they actually did steal from Onslaught is that they gave her heel spurs. Hotspot does not have heel spurs. He just has nothing back there. So they gave you the heel spurs, and I'm so glad about that because heel spurs are always wonderful to have. And Hotspot is a little bit back heavy. And Pyra Magna has really no trouble standing. Like I can poke her pretty decently, and she's not going to fall unless I poke her like really hard. So I dig this version of the mold. If you know, we fix it correctly. I'm kind of annoyed that I have to fix it, but I understand assembly errors happen, so I'm not up in arms about it. I'm disappointed. Hasbro, I am disappointed. Aww. But to throw a size comparison in with Whinblade and Chromia, two of the ladies that are responsible for creating Victorion in the comic books, that's actually pretty cool. I always really like height differences in Transformers. So seeing people that are big and next to people that are small, next to people that are even smaller, next to even people that are smaller, it all kind of like tickles my science fiction fancy. But let's go ahead and bring in a whole lot of the other Torchbearers. In fact, let's bring in all the Torchbearers. What do you say we get crazy? Bring in all the Torchbearers and see this entire group all together. I know it's going to be a first ever, but let's see if we can do it. What do you know? I was able to do it. Get all 6 Torchbearers together for one big group shot. How wonderful. I do like these ladies. I think the color scheme could have used a little bit more silver, I think, in it. Just to break up the sea of green and red. But as it is, I'm rather pleased with this group, and Pyra Magna in particular is definitely a high point of this group for me. I like her a lot. So that's basically leading into my final thoughts on Pyra Magna herself. As I said, I'm very pleased with her. So this is definitely the mold that I voted for the chest component. I don't want her to be the leader, though. I'm sick of the big one having to be the leader. It's like kind of stereotypical to me, so it's like just kind of irking my creativity. Anyway, for what she is, I do like her. She has a very nice use of a mold that I like, and I approve. So I'm very pleased with her. I am curious to know what you guys think about her. How do you feel about head sculpt? Actually, who's your favorite head sculpt for the entirety of the Torchbearers, of Victorion's members? Who's your favorite head sculpt? I don't know if I have a favorite, but Pyra Magna definitely is in the top there. She is one of the best ones. And guys, thank you so very much to those of you who have subscribed to us and watch our videos and spread the word about us to your friends. You guys are absolutely amazing for doing that for us, and we cannot grow without your help. And we love you so much for what you've done for us. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason we keep doing these. So until next time, guys, may all your primes be in your hearts, and your hearts be lit by torches and bared by giant robots that turn into a gianter robot. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yep. Bye. She didn't actually transform. I just put her down and rolled. Yeah. Bye.